A very good Friday morning to everyone out there. Landon here with you to bring you your latest weather or not forecast courtesy of On Target. Let's get a look at here, folks. We got a wild ride on the Kentucky weather train here, and it all starts today. We are taking a look at this boundary. It's going to be lifting to the north and east across the region here. Going to be taking the shape in the form of a warm front as it does so. You can see some of this cloud cover that we're going to have streaming in here through the south and west regime as we work throughout the day. Then we'll be keeping eyes back here on this low pressure system. It's going to be pulling off here to the north and east and bringing a very strong cold front blasting east through the region as we work later into our Saturday evening into early Sunday morning. That'll be bringing the opportunity at some strong to maybe even some severe storm chances along with it. Getting a look across the region, D93 Skycam kicking things off. A beautiful view to what should be a beautiful day. Got a few of those wispy mid and high level clouds swinging around there on the eastern horizon, but outside of that we should have plenty of sunshine to work throughout the day. Morgantown Skycam showcasing a similar view there. Got a few silhouettes there, the cloud cover streaming across the skies overlooking Morgantown early this morning. Taking a look out there and getting an idea of exactly what those current conditions are looking like. We are a little bit chillier than what we were this time yesterday. We've got readings that are down anywhere around the upper 40s to lower 50s. We're going to be bumping highs all the way up to around the mid and upper 70s again this afternoon. A few of us could definitely touch the 80-degree mark as a result, all right? Let's jump over here and let's talk about what we're going to be focused on here in both the near term and the long-term forecast outlook, because we do have a switch over to a very active pattern that is going to be taking shape, all right? So here we are putting this into motion. Got this low that is pinwheeling here up across southern Canada. It's going to continue to pull eastward, pulling an associated cold front in the same direction as that thing pinwheels just north of the Great Lakes. This cold front's going to be approaching from the west throughout the day on Saturday, really kicking up some strong southerly winds. Clockwise flow around this area of high pressure, along with counterclockwise flow around a developing area of low pressure, is really going to open up this southwesterly regime. This is going to open up the door to deep moisture, to influx here out of the deep south and out of the Gulf. This is going to be our moisture supplier, and whenever the cold front arrives, you can see that convection really explode near and around the Ozarks. Then it pinwheels north and east and arrives well after sunset Saturday evening. Got the Fall Festival in downtown Bowling Green from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. tomorrow. The good news is we should stay dry outside of a few pop-up showers or maybe a stray storm during the afternoon, but it is going to be extraordinarily warm and extraordinarily breezy. That is a promise. We're taking a look here as we progress into the pre-dawn hours of our Sunday, and this is where the surface map is going to be. Folks, this continues to shape up like a typical fall weather setup scenario. We have high levels of shear, that's the organizational and the change in speed and direction of winds with height, but we have very low levels of storm energy, cape, and instability, all right? So what we see here is the dynamics are overwhelming with this particular weather maker. We got a lot of very strong winds aloft, but it's what we're going to have available to bring those winds all the way down to the surface. Looks like damaging straight line winds would be our primary concerns with any storms that come through. We also can't rule out a brief tornado spin up right along the line as it moves through the region as well, all right? So let's get a little bit closer, intricate view of the short-term model guidance and give you the full breakdown on exactly what we are anticipating. Here we are working throughout today. We should be dry as a bone. You will be noticing an uptick in cloud cover as the day progresses. That's what's the influx of moisture ahead of this passing vigorous cold front. As early as the overnight, we can have a few pop-up showers impacting the region. Then we get into our Saturday morning, and this is where we should stay dry for the most part, right here in and around the Wobbles community, the entirety of the Commonwealth, much less. And then as we work into our Saturday afternoon, got the opportunity at a few spotty showers here and there, but the main weather player and our peak timing for severe weather will be very late Saturday evening and continuing all the way through the very early hours of our Sunday. Here we are looking at midnight Sunday morning, progressing into the 2 and 3 a.m. hour. This is whenever the peak timing is going to be. Do not like nocturnal events, but they're not really that uncommon whenever we get into the fall season like this. Vast majority of folks will be asleep out there. Make sure you have your smartphones available, have a weather radio on and available if you have that. Just in case, I'm not overly confident that we're going to see anything major as far as a severe weather outbreak out of this. We could have a few storms that do bring those severe winds down to the surface. And again, folks, if we get the perfect setup at just the right time, which isn't out of the question, very low tier on the totem pole, but a brief tornado spin-up cannot be ruled out. Bulk of the moisture will be east of the region by sunrise on Sunday, but we will have to deal with scattered showers that's going to be lingering here on the wraparound of the back side of that low pressure system. Not just that, though, folks, our winds are going to be absolutely screaming both Saturday and Sunday, changing directions drastically throughout the process. That is going to result in a very major temperature swing across our region, all right? Take a look at these wind speeds. Here we are working throughout today. We'll catch a little breeze at times. It's going to be all right, though. It shouldn't be too much to worry about. But look as we get into our Saturday. Right around sunrise, we're going to have winds out of the south and west of 20 to 30 miles an hour. That is going to send temperatures skyrocketing, all right? We're going to be keeping the 20 to 30 mile an hour winds out of the south and west throughout the day, and that is really going to send temperatures up to the opportunity of hitting or exceeding record highs. For Bowling Green, that was set back in 2016 in the upper 80s. We cannot rule that out, folks. A few of us might even touch the 90-degree mark Saturday afternoon. I wish that I was joking. Here we are getting into our Saturday afternoon. We work into the Saturday night time frame. Here comes the blasting cold front through here with winds registering at 30 to 40, even possibly approaching 50 miles an hour. We'll see if that comes to fruition. But folks, after the cold front passes, look after sunrise on Sunday. We still have these massive wind fields, 30 to 40 plus miles an hour, but they have turned out of the north and west. Our temperatures will be falling throughout the day on Sunday, okay? So take a look at the change in differentiation here over the next 48 to 60 hours or so. This afternoon, we're going to be topping out right around the 80-degree mark. Not going to be too bad out there with a little bit of filtered sunshine. It should be nice. We work into our Saturday, and this is whenever we're going to see the opportunity of reaching or exceeding record highs. Models are only showing the lower 80s, folks, but models tend to underdo temperature readings with southwest flow. That southwest flow is going to be very rich and strong throughout our Saturday. That's why I think we're going to be higher than the mid-80s. We could be hitting the upper 80s. A few of us may even touching the 90-degree mark if it overachieves, but it cannot be ruled out. And then look at the drastic pendulum swing on the temperature front. By sunrise on Sunday, look at this. We're going to be right around the mid-60s. You think not so bad, right? But look at the time that we reach lunchtime and beyond. We're going to be all the way down to the lower 50s between early and mid-afternoon on Sunday afternoon. Northwest winds 30 to 40 plus miles an hour. Definitely going to be a fall-like crisp in the air. That is a promise. Want to get a quick look after this weather maker passes because we will have an active pattern that will continue into next week. We get another weak front that's going to try to blast through here. Not necessarily weak on the dynamics front, but moisture will be somewhat deprived. Another jolt of northwest winds coming in behind this passing front. Monday night into Tuesday morning. Then we got the opportunity of that upper level low pinwheeling here, bringing some more rain chances throughout the week. Another low pressure system and cold front passing through. Looks like the colder fall-like temperatures are going to be here to stay for the foreseeable future after that cold front passes on Saturday night. I don't know about you all, but I'm absolutely for that. That is a promise, all right? Here's a look at the latest from our local National Weather Service office. We got the far western tier of the Wobbles community in a 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather. The remainder of the region in a 1 out of 5 risk. Primary concerns will be damaging straight line winds, opportunity of a tornado spin-up or two. There might not be much lightning or thunder at all with this, with the lack of instability, but our wind speeds and directions, the dynamics of this weather maker are going to be rather extreme. Outside of storms, 20 to 30 mile an hour winds throughout our Saturday morning. Late Saturday night into Sunday, 30 to 40 plus mile an hour winds out of the north and west. Would not be surprised to see a wind advisory be issued. Outside of any strong and severe weather, we are looking still at roughly a half inch all the way up to roughly an inch and a half of total rainfall. That's the range that the vast majority of the region should remain in. All right, want to give you all your next 6-day weather forecast breakdown for today. Clouds on the increase, highs near 80 degrees. It should be quite nice. Exceptionally windy and hot on Saturday. Upper 80s are in the forecast. And then strong and severe storm chances Saturday night to the very early morning hours of our Sunday. That high of 66 degrees on Sunday will be achieved right around sunrise. We will have temperatures falling as the day wears on. Monday will be immaculate, loads of sunshine and 70 degrees. Weak cold front passes on Tuesday. We're going to drop highs all the way down to the lower 60s by Wednesday afternoon of next week. Friends, it's going to wrap up your Friday morning weather or not forecast, brought to you by our friends and partners over at On Target. You all take care of yourselves and each other. Stay weather aware throughout the weekend and stay safe.